Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. 8 a.m. here on the 17th day of September 2014. That music means the show is Attitude of Gratitude, and it is. And the music comes to us compliments of award-winning artist David Martinka. Find his music and all the other great things he's into at redbellymusic.com as well as sunshadows.net. We thank David for his contribution. He is so kind and generous not only to do our music for the show, but when you go to that site or those sites, you're going to find great downloads that you can get for free. So, David, a fantastically generous individual. As all of you are, I'm going to invite you to follow this show and support it. Two different places, blogtalkradio.com/perspectivepower and facebook.com/perspectivepower. Those are our sites. I am Annette Rochelle Aben, and I'm so darn glad you are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for giving me and yourself this time to pause for an attitude of gratitude. And really and truly, the pausing is one of the most effective aspects of an attitude of gratitude, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to go through your day, and it doesn't matter whether you're in your home, you're outside of your home, you're in your car, you're walking, there could be something that happens that causes you to stop. So if it causes you to stop, it's giving you an opportunity to take that cause, turn it into a pause, and present yourself an attitude of gratitude. Really? Seriously? I can just see you sitting there going, what about this or what about that? Okay, let's look at a couple of those situations. What about if you're in the grocery store and you're reaching for something that you were going to buy because you've got it on your list and you notice that they're out of it? You're thinking, oh, man, I have this recipe figured out. Dadgummit, I really needed whatever it was you needed. I buy parsnips a lot, right? So I go to the store and I don't see parsnips. I'm kind of cranky because I use them in a root vegetable soup that I make. However, if you stop for a minute and just say, thank you. You don't even have to know why you're saying it. You don't even have to mean it right at the moment, but just say, thank you. One of two things could occur. Number one, you could realize that maybe you don't need the parsnips. Number two, maybe the parsnips that they would have sold you would have been old and funky and they're going to make your food taste yucky, so you're glad you didn't get them. Or number three, if you walk a little further, and this happened to me, I normally buy fresh bulk parsnips so I can see them and look at them and decide what I want. And one day I went to the store and they didn't have them, and they always have them. They always have them. So I just stopped for a second and said, you know what, there's got to be a reason for this. That's one of my ways of pausing for an attitude of gratitude. It's like, that's okay, no big deal. Thank you. And I walked a little further, and I found pre-bagged parsnips that were actually less expensive than the ones I was going to buy. Yeah, I didn't get to choose my parsnips. Yeah, I didn't get to look at them ahead of time. But you know what? I paused. I didn't give the situation cause to upset me. I gave it an attitude of gratitude, and I found my parsnips. And I came home, and I made my root vegetable soup. So winner, winner, vegetable soup dinner. It was all really, really cool. So that's sort of a harmless thing, not finding the item you want in the grocery store. And here's another thing. I was at the store, always at the grocery store. If you want to find me and I'm not home, look at the Kroger near my house. That's where I'll be. Anyway, I'm walking through the store, and I wanted this one item, and I had a coupon for it, and I was down on it. I was going to get this item, and they didn't have it. And I went, oh, mercy, you don't have this? Really? Seriously? So I didn't buy it. Now, when I got to the checkout, guess what? If I'd had that item, I wouldn't have had the money to pay for all my groceries because it would have been over my budget, and that's all I had. And I thought, oh, look at that. So I was grateful that I didn't have the item because then I didn't have to say to the clerk, excuse me, can you put, like, the things I really need back because the stuff I really want is what I want to take home? So by pausing for the attitude of gratitude, when I realized that that particular item wasn't available on that day at that moment, I actually gave myself a gift later on saving myself the red-faced embarrassment of not having enough money, and that happens to people all the time. So I didn't mean that that's not a horrible thing, but again, that's not even a horrible thing. So let's take a look at a story that I've shared before, and just to briefly, because it really does illustrate this pausing for an attitude of gratitude thought. Back in 2006, I had to learn to walk again because I wasn't able to walk for a while in that year. Won't go into all those details. Hit me up on Facebook if you want to know those. But the idea here is I had to learn to walk again. And it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do. You know, when you're a little kid and you're learning to walk, you don't know the difference. You just know that you're moving forward in your life and you're growing. So even if you fall down, you get back up, and you fall down, you get back up, and pretty soon you're walking, and they got to put gates up so you don't go head first down the basement stairs. Well, when you're an adult, and an adult as I was about to turn 50, and I couldn't walk, my head was telling me things that were keeping me from actually enjoying the process at times. But what got me to enjoy the process, what really gave me the strength and the drive to keep going, was that pause for an attitude of gratitude. Because there were times when I'd be walking along and the pain would be intense. And I'd think, oh, holy no. This means I can't do this, or this means I couldn't do this. But what I could do, the only thing I could do was go back into my head, the very tool that I had that could talk me out of wanting to walk again or talk me out of continuing the process, was the very thing that allowed me to get back into it, because I'd pause and I'd connect to an attitude of gratitude. And it wouldn't be anything to do with what I was doing. I wasn't standing there going, oh, thank you that I can stand, or thank you that my feet work, or thank you that my knees are working. I would be grateful for the sky. I would be grateful for the birds, for the trees, for the flowers in my yard, for the fact that I was standing, or if I wasn't at my home, I'd be grateful for the parking lot. I'd be grateful for the wind. I'd be grateful for traffic lights. Heck, I was grateful for ants one day. I didn't care what it was. I just found a reason to be grateful. And if you can't say, thank you, sky, thank you, trees, thank you, ants, thank you, cars going by, thank you to the trusty walker I was hanging on to at the time, maybe all you need to say is thank you. And what would happen when I would do that is, well, for me, it was like my body relaxed. Everything sort of lined up. And while the situation that was causing the holdup, in other words, the issue with my knees, didn't disappear. Somehow, some way, because I went higher, I went over it with that gratitude, I was actually able to start locomoting again. And I would have friends that would be with me and watch this. They would see me get out of my car. They would see me start to walk, and they would see that I stopped, because the pain would literally send like a sheet of white right through my face. And they could see that. And then they'd turn around seconds later, and I'd be walking. And one girl said to me, how'd you do that? How did you do that? I looked at you. There was no way you could have moved. And I said, honestly, I just started thinking about all the things I was grateful for, and I was able to walk. The pause to own that attitude of gratitude, to have that attitude of gratitude, to get into it, can be the difference between getting where you need to get and being stuck where you are. It can mean the difference between being able to understand your situation, or at least come to terms with it, like me with the vegetables in the store or the food in the store. I came to terms with it. I said, you know what? It's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for not being there. I don't know why I'm thanking you, but thank you. In other words, it's the difference between being able to enjoy where you are, or at least make friends with it, and being stuck in the misery. And I don't remember who said it, but I remember seeing this posted somewhere. You cannot solve a problem with the energy that created it. If you are stuck in that misery, you're stuck in that depression or whatever that word is, and you are trying to solve a problem that you think puts you there, or the problem that you see as why you're there, you can't solve it from that same vantage point. Mud will still create mud, will still create mud, will still create mud. So the only way to solve that issue or to find a different road that you want to take is to get yourself into a different thought, to shift the perspective. So by pausing, to give yourself an attitude of gratitude, and again, you don't have to name what you're grateful for. Sometimes through gritted teeth, it's hard to say, I'm grateful that I have fingernails, and I'm grateful that I have shoelaces, and I'm grateful that I didn't, whatever, fill in the blank. Why not just say, thank you, thank you. And if you want to add something after that, say, thank you, I get it. And I don't care, we're going to talk, that's going to be a whole other show, because that's a fabulous tool. Thank you, I get it. So pop that into your catalog of things that work. You will be amazed, surprised, pleased, awed and humbled. I was trying to say you're going to be awed. You're going to be awed and humbled at what will happen in your life when you pause for that attitude of gratitude. And here's the even cooler thing about it. It doesn't cost any money to do this. You don't need years and years of therapy. You don't need all kinds of different strategies and techniques. Not that there are bad things about having that. Trust me. You know, I've sat on my therapist's couch. I've read the self-help books. I've written self-help books. It's okay. It's all good. But the idea is this is so replicatable. It is so easy to do. It is so vital to your life. And I'm going to tell you straight up, it's necessary, okay? It's necessary. It's as necessary as breathing. But you can teach this to your kids. You can teach this in a way our animals teach it to us, because they come over and they want us to stop what we're doing and pet them. They want us to stop what we're doing and pay attention to them. That's a pause. They want us to pause. With their pause, they're getting us to pause. I love it when a plan comes together. So they allow us to learn this by teaching it to us like, hey, take a moment. Look at me. I'm being a silly dog. I'm being a goofy cat. Pay attention to me. Pet me. Stop for a second. It shifts the awareness. It shifts the perspective. It puts you in contact with an energy that is not where you're stuck, and it gives you, it just gives you that strength. It gives you that focus. It gives you that necessary breath between a rash decision and a well-thought-out decision, between buying into fear and realizing that fear is just fuel. You can use it to move forward. But that pause for an attitude of gratitude can do the simplest things, and it can do the most serious things. It can literally save your life. Literally could save your life. So when you go through the rest of your day, the rest of your week, until we have another show, try that pause for an attitude of gratitude and hook up with me on Facebook. I'm there. Annette Rochelle Aben Communicates is my public profile page. I'd love to connect with you there. You can also connect through Perspective Power on Facebook. That's the name of my Facebook page. And to follow the show here on Blog Talk Radio, they'll send you reminders. You schedule that. You say, well, send it to me an hour before the show. Send it to me 10 minutes before the show. So you can, or you don't even have to get them. But it would be great to have your support at blogtalkradio.com/perspectivepower. You can also find me at my site, AnnetteRochelleAben.wordpress.com. I would be delighted and honored to have you connect with me. And tell me, when you paused for an attitude of gratitude, what happened? What caused you to pause? Why did you pause? What was the pause? What did you say? Now, you don't have to, but you know, I share with you every week and have been since the beginning of the year on this particular program. And the reason I do is not only because of what it does for you, but what it does for me. There's strength in numbers, folks, and if I come out and share, it gives you ideas, it gives you inspiration. So it's okay, you could share that. And you never know who you're going to inspire with what you share. And you never know who's been inspired by this wonderful music that comes to us compliments of the award-winning artist David Martinka. Find his music at redbellymusic.com and sunshadows.net. Again, you can find me all over social media. Just Google my name, Annette Rochelle Aben, and LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. They'll all come shining at you. You'll see it. And remember, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. live, we come together to celebrate an attitude of gratitude.